Good morning, everybody. I just wanted to show recognition to some of the folks that we have here in the room. Clearly, we have a lot of Penn Plaza residents, which is a beautiful thing. And then to my right, we have State Representative Ed Gainey, we have Mayor Bill Peduto, and we have City Council and Reverend Ricky Burgess, along with a sea of committee people, I'm sure, that I could not name. So I just wanted to thank everybody for coming this morning, and hopefully we can have a productive meeting and move forward. Thank you. Now I'm going to introduce Ms. Gail Williams. She is a resident of Penn Plaza.
Good morning, everyone. As you know, this is a fight that we're going to take to them because they have taken it to us. And the problem is we don't understand and we don't know. So don't get scared, don't get frustrated, don't get upset, because something shall be done. Because either they're going to come to us or we're going to take the fight straight to their office. So what I need you to do now is to have an understanding that what they did is unjustified. So don't get scared and start running and trying to find a place. Just stay calm, stay peaceful, because we're going to form a committee. So I'd like everyone here to have an understanding that our elected officials is going to give us some type of answers about the things that are going on that we ourselves do not know. So after, I want to, Mr. Sims.
I am a 20-year resident of East Mall, the high-rise with the tunnel that was right over there. Okay, since directions is terrible. 15 years ago, the high-rise. Okay, sorry about that. 15 years ago, the residents of all three high-rises were in a similar situation. We were told the buildings were going to come down, and well, that's all well and good, but what's going to happen to us? All three high-rises have resident councils. The three resident councils got together and formed CORE, the coalition, just so we could sit at the table with the stakeholders to find answers. The main question we had was, what's going to happen to us? It's not fun to have to move. I mean, how many people have already faced displacement in some place, not just East Liberty, but anywhere? That's an upheaval of your life that I wouldn't wish on anyone. You have your, you know where everything's at, you know your neighbors, you have family, your kids are in schools. Everything's established, and all of a sudden, you gotta go. And it's especially disturbing in our case when we knew we were leaving our homes to make way for new apartment buildings. Well, if you're doing that, why can't I come? Some of us, fortunately, are in the new buildings. I thank God I'm in my replacement housing. It took a while. I was in Penn Plaza for 7 years watching East Liberty Place North being built. So I understand what the conditions are in Penn Plaza. But the thing is, something's happening. You're seeing all kinds of machinery. You're hearing all kinds of rumors. The best way to stop rumors is with facts. And the one thing that CORE did was find out for ourselves, for our neighbors that we represented, exactly what's going on. Penn Plaza doesn't have a resident council, does it?
No.
I would suggest that you form one. That is one of the things that CORE does, is help form tenant councils. It's one thing to have a lot of people come in and face these guys with a lot of questions, But if you come as a united front, there's strength in numbers.
Yes.
And this can be a little overpowering at times. And sometimes it sounds like an angry mob, and right now you have every reason to be one. But sit down, organize, have your representatives come. It's never too late. It's never too late.
They only got 30 days to get out of here. They said 9 days.
We don't know that. That is one reason we're here, to find out. And to keep all these rumors, to keep everybody informed. That's the best advice I can give you. Organize, spread the word, spread the truth. Don't spread rumors. And
On the news this morning, they said
later on, we will have time for questions and answers,
we
but
want the answers now.
we will get to the questions and answers, but since we do have a limited time, we want to keep the agenda going.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, it's never too late to organize. It's never too late to stand your ground. It's never too late to let them know who you are. It's never too late. That's a defeated question when you ask that. That's the defeated. You already have yourself defeated in your mindset when you say, oh, it's too late. It's never too late. It's never too late. As long as you got breath in your body, it's never too late. Because they have to recognize who we are as people. We got to stand up. We must stand up. And as far as having a tenant council, yes. I already filled mine out for tenant council. I don't care if I'm there for 3 years, 2 years, or 6 months. The council will have ground, and the council will have power behind it. Because one voice never stands by itself. All one voice does is complain and talk about what is and what should have been and how it is. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to have an agenda. We're going to sit down as a council and have an agenda to put to our elected officials so they can give us answers. Because we put them in office, we can take them out of office. They belong to us. We don't belong to them. But we're going to ask questions.
You can buy them.
No, the Bible says, listen, hold up. We're going to do this in decency. Decency and order. Decency and order. Decency and order. Decency and in order. That's why we don't get anywhere, because everybody wants to put in something that's not even under. We are going to do things accordingly with decency, because all that hollering and screaming, all they'll do is pat you on the back, tell you yes, and send you on your way. But if you come to them professionally, they can't do anything against us. You must come to them professionally without no hollering and screaming. Like I said, we need a tenant council. I belong to Action United. I used to belong to Acorn. I was the president of Southwestern Pennsylvania for 5 years. Hey, but I'm not even talking about Acorn. See, you're destructive, and we're not going to go there. But the bottom line is, we are going to organize as a group of people. Those who belong to Penn Plaza and those who don't. Displacement is displacement. We're talking about people, not color, but people. We have blood in our veins, and we have a heart to pump. We got a mind to think. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to think. We're going to put together a group of people to think. And if you don't want to be part of it, so be it. So be it. Because one person by themselves drowns. One person by themselves drowns. But a group of people, you got a support system. And that's what we must have, in a support system. And the answers, they're going to answer our questions. And what they can't answer, hey, they will find the answer for us.
That's right.
They will find the answer for us within a week's time. That's the time limit. 1 week. 1 week. 1 week. Because like I said, y'all work for us. We don't work for you. We put y'all in office, we'll take y'all out. Okay.
Paper too. Can we know what's going on?
Okay, hold up. The questions and answers is getting ready to be answered.
Good morning, fellow Penn Plaza residents. My name is Randall Taylor. I'd lot of folks don't know me. I've represented this community for 12 years on the Pittsburgh Board of Education, and a lot of people did not hear. Dr. Helen Faison passed away. So for those of probably many in this room who are actually students of hers, but Helen Faison was a legendary name in not only the black community, but our community. The first everything, first black woman principal, first. So again, folks, we're here. We attempted to create an agenda, and we're going to try to stick with that. And so I understand the emotions that we have around this situation, but let's try to keep the emotions in check, and let's try to think a little bit. And again, we're going to have time for people to ask questions. And if you really feel strongly about it, we're going to have time for you to come to a meeting, sit down, roll up your sleeves, and figure out how we go here. Because this battle that we have going on here today not only is going on in other communities as part of this city. Again, black and white, where people have lived for years, and suddenly, you know, their neighborhoods are drastically changing, and suddenly their rent has gone up from $700 to $800 to $900 a month. So all of us are happy and pleased with the progress that Pittsburgh is making. If you love your city, I'm very proud. Again, I grew up in East Liberty. I'm very happy. It was very hurt to see the bad times in East Liberty, and very happy to see the good times in East Liberty. But there's got to be room for all of us. And let's be real. All of us know sitting here, when we look out here at this audience, this is Pittsburgh. Right. This is Pittsburgh. This is what built Pittsburgh. This is what made it possible for Google and all these folks to come here. Because we worked hard all those years to build this city. So you mean tell me now that all our work and hard work is paid off, and now we can't stay? So I'll now hear my personal comments and get to the one there. Because the only one that I would say, on the real side, not to be funny, if it comes a time where you have to be able to pay $1,000 a month to live in the city of Pittsburgh, guys, I'm just saying, let us know. Just let the folks know, by January 2017, you must have the ability to pay $1,000 a month rent. That's the way it is in San Francisco. And if that's the way it's going to be here, give the people not 90 days, give them 2 years to start making arrangements to get out of Pittsburgh. But these gentlemen here who I know, and I want to recognize, we had Tim Stevens come in, a longtime leader and activist around these issues, Valley McDonald, worked for the mayor. Of course, our county executive, Rich Fitzgerald, also took the time and concerned enough to come out today. So the question I have here is that there's about probably 5 questions I have, and then the other panelists will ask a question, we'll open up to the floor. So many of us, again, if you have any ideas about exactly why this is happening, you know, people here are, again, they're taxpayers, they work, they pay their rent. Many have lived in this building for decades, literally decades, and they have put up with the rents going up, you know, quite often. Sometimes the maintenance of the building isn't what it should be. And so the first question we have, do you have any ideas what is going on here? Because honestly, we don't know anything except room.
Thank you. Thank you, Randall. And before I even answer that question, I just want to talk directly to people who have called this place home for a number of years. I can't even imagine the anxiety that you must be feeling. I can't imagine if I walked home one day and somebody put something in my mail that said you have to leave in 90 days. It's not, I would not have run for office if that were the way that we were going to do business in this town. And the first that we heard of it was the day before it got in the newspaper, because some of the tenants reached out to Representative Gainey, and he called up and said, what the hell is going on? So that's not going to be a model, not only for here, but anywhere. And we've got to make sure that this is a stand that's taken so that other developers will know around the city, we don't do business this way. It's not about the brick and mortar and what will replace it, it's about the people that live inside of it. And I will show you one thing. This is the only thing I'm going to be able to promise you, that you will be respected through this entire process. and that what has started will not be the way that it will continue. So we've formed a sort of an emergency committee. Valerie McDonald Roberts, who's the chair of the Housing Authority, Kevin Acklin, who's my chief of staff and the chair of the URA, in my office, and we sat down with that developer the day of the article, one day later, and we said, this isn't going to happen this way. So here's the 4 things we're working on right now. And let me tell you this too, a tenant council is needed. It's not a nice idea, it's needed, because you can't have meetings like this and then get something done. But you can bring representatives of the people who live within the community sitting at the table, and I assure you that too, it's another promise I make you. You'll be at the table as decisions are being made, and having your voice heard directly, not through us, but through you at that table. So I'm going to say one thing, if there's a takeaway out of this meeting, form a tenant council. Get that done today, and this isn't the last meeting, this is the first meeting. So we'll have answers to questions, some today, some later, but we'll continue this process. So what we said to the developer, 4 things. Number 1, put the brakes on the 90 days. And so we're calling for an extension of our lease. Nothing has to happen in 90 days. It could be 3 years. It could be 5 years. We need a plan. We don't need just to have something that just, and there's no reason right now to have a 90-day. There's nothing before the Planning Commission, nothing before the Zoning Board, nothing that's been presented to City Council. And until there is that, then let's extend the leases, get that letter and get rid of it, and let everybody have the opportunity to just come back. Extend the leases is number 1. Number 2, we've demanded from them a commitment to affordable housing. So what they develop on this site has to include an ability for people to stay on that one site. Number 3, and this comes to us, because what you have is a board member of the URA, a board member of the Housing Authority, the chair of the Housing Authority, and the county executive. You've got all the pieces, and the people right here to make this happen. A commitment to affordable housing in East Liberty, meaning that East Liberty gets built for all. And that has to, and we're asking the developer to be a part of that. So what we're saying is, and we did this in the Hill, if they're asking for a tax incentive, if they want to see a TIF that has to go through the county and the city and the school board, then we want part of that TIF not to go directly to their site, but into another account that will be able to be used only for affordable housing in East Liberty. Because if we don't do that, we are going to price out everything. There has to be a financial incentive in place to get developers like community builders and others that are doing it to be able to continue to do it. And we need to use the wealth that's being made from the other developments in East Liberty to make sure there's an East Liberty for all. So that was point number 3. And point number 4, for those that aren't going to be able to stay on this site, but maybe move a block away, that we create a fund for a relocation package so that you're not lost. And this is what I think. There's going to be somebody's grandma. And if it were my grandma, and she's not going to be able to move a refrigerator out of her place, and she's going to have to hire somebody, and she's going to have to get the van, and she's going to go through the stress, and the kids are now living in Ohio and down in DC, and they're not going to be able to come back. Then let's give her the ability, again, it's about respect, to be able to get that moving van and give her the incentive to be able to do it seamlessly as possible. So those are the 4 points we're working on right now. URA, state, city council, housing, county, mayor's office. Working together with you and the tenants council at the table directly with the developer, we can get this done. But right now what has to happen is, and this is the only advice my dad ever gave me, take a breath. He always used to tell me, take a breath. I tend to do things like this a lot. Right now, we're telling the developer, take a breath.
First of all, I want to thank the mayor, and I want to congratulate him and Representative Gainey for taking action immediately once they find that this is occurring. And there's no question, working with City Councilman Burgess, working with the head of the Housing Authority, Valerie, I think all of us coming together, but I think the mayor's got a great point. You've got to appoint or elect or select some representatives who can bring the concerns forward so that we can act and work in good faith with all the developers. And this is just one. And I think the mayor brought up a good point. This could happen again and again. As Randall said, there's a lot of good things happening. We don't want to lose sight of that. We're glad that there's investment, finally, after many years coming to East Liberty, coming to Larimer, coming to these neighborhoods. But we've got to make sure that there's room for everybody. So the plan is important for how new development's going to include everybody, how it's going to have an affordable housing component and a development component that is part of what we need to do. So, again, it's not going to be easy. It's going to take a lot of work. A lot of us at the county, at the state, at the city level are all going to have to work together with the community, with tenant councils, with these groups, but we're here to do that. We're here to commit to make sure that we all work together to come up with a plan. And the mayor's right, 90 days is not enough. Not enough to move your whole life that you've been sitting there, living there for many, many years. I know what you can accumulate in a few years, right? It takes a long time to undo those things. So we've got to have a plan, we've got to have time, we've got to move forward in a positive and a constructive way. So it's great to see everybody here today, but let's figure out a way to communicate and work together so that these concerns can be brought in a good positive way. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. I'm going to move on to this question. I'm going to combine these two for the sake of time. In our planning meetings, one of the things that we did talk about is we did want to talk about that issue of relocation dollars and a soft landing if this happens. But one of the things that we do want to make clear is tenants, and hopefully our discussions are representative of the thought, is that we want to stay. We want to stay. We want to stay. People, again, have been in that building, for years. And so it needs some fixing up. But we want to stay here. I moved here because I grew up in East Liberty. I like living in East Liberty. And it's affordable over there. So we want to stay. So one thing we wanted to ask first is and we'd like to hear from all of us, Valerie, not elected anymore, but we know your experience. Would you support tenant efforts if we decide to collectively try to purchase some or all of the property for ourselves? And to couple that question, will you support us if we refuse to move?
All right.
There's a window here, and that window is open for, I don't know how long, but it's open right now to be able to try to think about what the future is, not only for this site, but also for the East Liberty and also for the city of Pittsburgh. There are rights that are given to you as a tenant, and that's a right that exists at this place, or if you're renting the second floor of a house. And there are things that a landlord can and cannot do. But on the other side, there's rights that are given to the landowner as well. They have a right to develop their property or to put a new roof on it or to be able to cut the grass or not cut the grass, and then we have to come out and cite them. But they also have the right to the property to develop it, as long as it's within the law. I would want to say to you, yes, we'll chain ourselves in, we'll lock the doors, we won't let them in. But the fact of the matter is, I also raise my right hand to uphold law and order in the city. And I know that a developer or a landlord or anybody has rights as well, and I can't take those rights away. Here's what I can do. They will seek changes that are needed to develop land. Some of those come through city planning. Some of them come through the zoning board. Some of them come through city council. I will make sure to use those as leverage to get what I can for you. That's who I represent. I will not let a development occur that is going to just go on the way that they want, 90 days, move everybody out, leave a long vacant place vacant for years and not see anything happen for years, and then go through a tumultuous, can you imagine if we would go to the zoning board right now if he would try to pursue this, and just on that 90-day issue, it would divide the city in two. So I can't say that I will, what was the term, Randall? It was that, will you
So if we refuse to move.
refuse to move? I can't say that. I can't do it because I then would not be obeying the law. But what I can do is I can use the tools that are given to development, zoning, planning, council approval, in order to leverage everything I can for you.
And Mayor, we also asked about tenant ownership.
Tenant ownership, sure. I mean, and I think that that's something that has to come to the table, because this is a large parcel. This doesn't get developed in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. This is about a 10-year process, which again is why we're saying, why throw everyone out at once? I mean, you couldn't even develop the entire site at one time.
That's
It would take years. Why don't you phase it out, doing it one part at a time, and then at that same time, let us work to build new housing across the street in the next block. So, if you have a proposal, and we can definitely bring others to the table that know how to do this, like community builders who did it up the street and created a mix of market, affordable, and subsidized, all three living together, and we have double the number of people that applied that we had units for. There is a market for that. And we certainly would consider that a very positive and thoughtful way to approach it, and we'll represent the community to make sure that's on the table.
So, most of you know me. I'm Reverend Ricky Burgess. I have friends in this crowd, Pam, my cousin's in this crowd. And so, a couple of things. First of all, we will do I will work with the mayor and state representative Ed Gamey and county executive Valerie. We are a team. We're all going to work together to do the best we can to help you. That's number one. And so that's the first thing. The second thing, during my time on council, as all of you know, I have been fighting for affordable housing the whole time I was on council. Whether it's building Garfield or building Lorimer, advocating for more affordable housing in the east end of Pittsburgh. Because I was born here, was raised here, I've been here all my life, married a girl from here. And so we're going to fight. And I do want to tell you something that I think that you should be congratulated for, is I believe that this moment is going to change the course of our city. Your advocacy, this moment, don't let this moment pass you by. There are many of us who have been arguing that the city needs more affordable housing, that they can't just build a soft side works on our community and move us out. There's some of us who have been arguing that over and over again, and those arguments, although we've said them, they haven't gotten, I think, the attention they deserve. Because when we build something like Southside Flats, and we want them to build high-end stuff in our city, but part of the money, they either put affordable housing in that development, or they take a percentage of the development dollars, put it in a fund, so we can build affordable housing in our own communities. And so this, you have given this moment can change our city. Now, I sent a letter, I sent an email already to the mayor asking to be on the task force for affordable housing. I've already been doing some research. I've been able to do, we've been able to do some affordable housing already. I promise you, I will make this the priority of my next 4 years in office. I will make affordable housing my priority. I will do everything in my power to help rebuild the traditional communities, because, be honest, what we don't want is we don't want Homewood to be someone else and not us. We don't want East Liberty to be someone else, not us. We don't want Hazelwood to be somebody else and not us. We don't want Bell Silver to be somebody else and not us. And the only way we do this is intentionally, carefully, making sure that in all of our communities, because not only do we want to stay, but we want clean, decent, modern houses with world-class amenities. We want to look good. And we deserve that. We deserve that. So as our city gets better, everybody should get better. And so if you walk through Lorimer, when you walk through Garfield, You're going to see housing, and I believe this, I'll go to my grave believing this, and those of you who talk to me privately know I believe this. I do not support any new development for our people and for poor people that is not world class. If I'm not going to live in it, I'm not going to build it. And every development that I've been a part of, whether it's Garfield or it's Skyline or it's Larimer or what we're trying to do in Homewood, they've all been units I myself would be willing to live in and put my family in. So this moment is bigger than us. It's bigger than me, it's bigger than you. We are speaking not just for East Liberty, but we're speaking for those all across the city, in Homewood, in Belsuva, and in Sheraton. And we're standing up with one voice saying, as we build a new Pittsburgh, we also have to build it for us. For those, we have to build probably around, we need about, they say we need 30,000 units. We need the city to commit to X number of units over the next 5 years. We need to build something like probably, 2,500, 3,000 new units. We need significant. We can't build, and I'm talking too much, but we can't build 10 at a time. It's not enough. We need to build 400 at a time. We need to build 400 houses in Homewood. We need to build 400 houses in East We need to build 400 houses in Belsuva. We need to build, because we're going to build 400 of other types of housing. If we can build 400 high-end houses, then we can build 400 affordable housing. We can build 1,000 affordable housing. We can build 2,000 affordable housing. I promise you, I will spend my every waking hour in the next 4 years. I will dedicate myself to this issue of affordable housing, of making sure that as Pittsburgh grows, it grows for everybody in this city. We're with you. We'll be with you. We'll stand with you. We'll do all we can to help you. God bless you, guys.
Good morning. First and foremost, before I begin, I want to thank a couple people, because I had no idea that this was going on, none at all. And so the first person I want to thank is Carmen Brown. I want to thank Carmen Brown because she called me on the phone in a panic. Like, Ed, do you know what's going on Penn Avenue? I said, we're out on Penn Avenue. She said, just Penn Avenue. I said, Carmen, there's a whole lot on Penn Avenue. We're out on Penn Avenue. So I want to thank Carmen for letting me know. The second person I want to thank is Gail. Gail, Ms. Burgess was in the bank with me, and she said, you got to talk to Gail right away. Where's she at, Miss? Where's she at?
Right here.
Right here. I know Gail, where's Ms. Burgess at? She in there?
She might have left.
She might have left. So she called on the phone, and Gail said, hey, they trying to tear it down. They giving us 90 days. I said, 90 days? I said, that don't make no sense. I said, all right, Gail, look, let me see what's going on. I didn't want to just go on to Penn Plaza's property with a letter saying, hey, listen, I'm going to hold a meeting, because I didn't want nobody to take it that I was trespassing on his property or anything like that. So what I did was walk around the building. And everybody I seen walk around the building, I would give my card and tell them that I'm going to have a meeting in 48 hours on that Thursday. But there was this one lady, she stopped me. There you go, right here. She stopped me on Lakeland, right? And so I always say, if my motto is if you put in the work, something gonna happen. So it was just, she was driving, pulled her car over, and said, do you know what's going on? I said, yeah. I said, actually, I'm trying to have a small meeting with the residents so I can hear, because I don't know anything. So I'm trying to get a meeting with the residents. She said, do you got some business cards on you? I said, yes. I gave her a stack. I said, can you pass them out to everybody and tell them to be in my office at 10:30 on Thursday? I said, so I can hear what's going on, because I don't know. We had over 50-some residents come to my office. And see, that was powerful to me, because it showed me you cared. It showed me you was concerned about where that you live. And see, even today, as we sit here today, we also have to see what we accomplished already to take with us. So already there's an agreement on the table that we know that 90 days is not even talked about. So all y'all that know about the 90 days and was intimidated by that, let's relax your mind now and know that 90 days ain't even something that's going to be. That's one victory. And I have to say thank you, Mayor. I have to say thank you, Mayor. Cause see, I told them we was gonna do a letter in an hour and get it to the mayor and our city councilman so that we can have a meeting to discuss this. So we put up, where's Bill Bartlett at? He was magnificent. Where's Bill? Bill helped us put a letter together, him and Gail. And I took it down to the mayor and the city councilman. And when I gave it to Valerie, Valerie said, this is right on time, man. We got to get out there and find out what's going on in these liberties. So Valerie, I want to thank you because you could have told me to, you know, hey, well, take it up front and put it in the mailbox, see if they pick it up. You know, but you didn't do that. You came right here. Me and the councilman had a conversation the day after. And he said, look, Ed, he said, let's have a meeting and hear what the residents say. So I was thankful for that. So I think you should thank your councilman.
Yes.
So here's what I believe we have to do. There has to be a tenant council formed.
That's right.
There has to have 4 or 5 things that you want to get accomplished now in writing. Like one of the things that we need to discuss because we put it on the table is in writing that the 90 days is no longer valid. If we could get that in writing from the landlord to y'all, it will ease your mind, not based on what we spoke today, but that you'll have paper in your hand saying that the 90 days is not going to be talked about. If we can get something like that as a beginning for the tenant council, we did one thing that's important. We eliminated some of the fear.
That's right.
Now that's not to say we still don't have a journey, but we eliminated some of the fear. That's a victory for you. So for everybody that didn't make it today, I want you to take this message back. I want you to take the message back that if you care, you'll show up all the time. Yes, sir. Because a lot of y'all came, hold on, please. A lot of y'all came today expecting not to hear that 90 days is no longer on the table. Right. So when they ask you why you believe it, I'm just giving you a reason to tell them why you believe that if they show up, we can get what we want. But we gotta walk together. That's the bottom line. It's not gonna happen unless we stick together. The day that you stop believing in the process is the day that you gave up. You can't blame nobody but the one that gave up. We gotta walk together as one unit. Do that mean we always gonna agree? No. So if you're looking for 100%, tell me in life where we get 100%. It doesn't happen. But if we can walk completely, meaning that we walk to the completion of more affordable housing, meaning that we walk to the completion of not having rents go up to $1,000, when there is some tenant home ownership or some community ownership, if we walk together for affordable housing and things like that, you can change this city. The opportunity is yours. Somebody said, y'all voted us in, you can vote us out. Absolutely, I agree with that. But don't worry about that right now. See that? Who determines how we ride for the polls? Right now, I need you to focus on how we get affordable housing in the city of Pittsburgh. This is not an us versus you. If it was, we wouldn't have had a first meeting. I did it because I care about you. But I can only walk as far as you go. You want to do something magnificent? We've always changed the city. We always changed the world. Name them. We've always come together to change anything that we have done in this world. Please understand you got the power to do this. And if tenant ownership is what y'all want, and it's part of a plan that can be done, Randall, not just a plan that can be done. Whether it's here, there, or wherever, a plan that can be done. We talked about it for a while. I agree with the mayor. If it's possible, let's talk about it. But at the same time, there got to be other options on the table because we don't know if it works for this.
That's right.
So since we don't know, let's make sure we walking right.
That's right.
Was there anybody from LG Realty here? We didn't want to give equal time if there's anybody from management. Okay, I want to introduce now fellow resident Lillian Great.
Hello, everybody. First, thank you for the opportunity to meet with you guys and for you to take your time out on a Saturday morning to hear us. Collectively, there was a survey done of our building, so these are the most important questions. And the one question that was not answered was, what is the plan, the actual plan for the property and development around that corner? And what do we need to know? Oh, we need to know what can possibly be done, or what can possibly be more important than us having homes we lived in. So, will you join us with LG Realty to make the plans public? Because right now, the plans are not public.
There have been no plans submitted to the city. This is all we know, that the development would be a mix between retail and housing. But we don't even know what the retail means, we don't know what the footprint is, we don't know where the buildings would be, because they haven't submitted anything. So that's why we said to them, this is the wrong way. If we let this process happen, this is the way other developments would happen as well. We need to have, in having a tenant council is going to be extremely helpful, having someone at that table. We need to have a community process first that says this is what we're proposing, and then you go with the whether or not people are going to be able to move out, and then we have the ability to create new housing. This is putting it completely backwards. So they have submitted nothing on a site plan, nothing on requirements for zoning changes, nothing about buildings, how high they're going to be, how far they'll be set back. Everything that's required for city approvals, nothing's been submitted. The only thing that was submitted was the letter you received.
Thank you. Thank you. That's important to know. That's very important to know. And you answered the rest of these questions. Thank you.
So this is why this is so important. We're saying that this is.
So basically.
Yeah, so listen. This is not a day's work.
No, it's not.
This is going to take us many years of making this city right for everybody. This process that we're going to do in your building is the beginning of many of these efforts we're going to have to do across the city. It's not going to happen today, it's not going to happen tomorrow, it's not going to happen next month. But it will be a public, open, participatory process where everybody plays a part. Now, Representative Gandy put it right, okay? One of the things that we do wrong, is we want everything, but we're not willing to do everything to get everything. Let me say this again. We want everything, but we're not willing to do what it takes to get everything, right? Right? We want a Lexus, but we have, we don't make the payments. Thank you, Shirley, you got that. So what we need you to do is a couple of things. We need you to do a couple of things. One is, we can't meet with all of you like this all the time. We can't do it this way. So we need you to elect representatives that we can meet with more regularly. And then periodically, we'll have big meetings when we have something to give back to you. Now, we all know, I'm going to be honest, because you brought me here, and it ain't Sunday, but I'm still a preacher. So, it's not going to be in the future what it is today. It's not going to look that way. It's not going to be that way. All right? It's going to be redone. So let's be honest with each other. It's not going to be, what it is right now will not be going forward. It's going to be something different and something new. Our fight is twofold. One, is they're making something different and they're making something new, there's a place for some of us in something better and something new. Second thing is that for all of us who can't go back to that place, help us find some place now where we can raise our families with dignity and respect. Those are two things we want. We want to be a part of the future, but also help us to take care, and we're willing to invest. So organize yourselves, get some representatives, so we can make this process public. A lot of it has to come through council. A lot of it has to come, land use, and most of us don't understand how government works. The mayor will tell you land use is one of the powers of council. Council controls land use. And so all of it will actually, one way or another, it'll come back to council. And when it comes to council, the way council works is we defer to the member whose district it's in. In other words, it doesn't happen unless I say okay. Now, I'm going to work with the mayor and Valerie and the county executive and state representative Gay. We are one team. We are all one team. But you, I need to stop this, but I really want to tell you, you've done something great in this moment. Because what we do here will set the guideline of what we do for the rest of the city. Yes. You are bringing this issue with a bullet to our city to say we want clean, decent, affordable housing in our own communities. We want to walk to the Target. We want to walk to Whole Foods. We want to walk to Trader Joe's. And we want to be able to have that in Homewood too, and walk to it too. So this is the beginning of a journey that we're all going to be on. It's really important though, that there's no enemies, we're not going to fight each other, but we got to stay, because this is not going to be over till next month. This is going to be a long journey that we're going to have to stay in this together. So you have representatives from Action United who are willing to organize you. I'll do anything I can. I'll come to your meetings. I'll come to Ed's office with his meeting. If he calls me, I'll come. But what you want me to do, I think, is be at the table to help design what something new is going to look like and make sure that some of us are a part of that something new. And then at the same time, we will provide all of my staff is here. Sean's here. My 2 full-time staff members are here today to listen. Both Sean, wave your hand. In the back, way in the back. That's Sean Carter. Marita, wave your hand. All right, our staff is here. We're here to help you. Whether it's getting vouchers, whether it's finding new housing, whether it's to come and play with the kids. Come on, somebody. Whatever it takes.
There it is.
We're here to help you. This is crisis. This is all hands on deck. This is crisis time, and you're going to be treated with respect and dignity through this entire process. It's going to take a minute, but we will get through this. We'll get through this. We've gotten through worse. Come on. We've gotten through worse, and we're still standing. And we're going to get through this, and we're going to come. The goal is to come out of this not the same, to come out of this better. If we work together, we can come out of this even better.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And that was eloquently put. I would like to just add, as I am a fellow resident, basically, to summarize that this is a process. It's going to take many years for this process to occur, that there was no plan submitted to the city, which means that there is a delay in what they can do. Because before they can even move on the site, you have to submit plans to the city. You have to go before the zoning board. The zoning board is an open hearing. It is public. You can't voice or go to listen.
No, but I can raise the question so that it can be asked.
So they can even move on that site. So it's very important or imperative for you to hear that today.
Yeah, but you need to put this to council. I mean, I understand you're going on there, but I mean, if we were here to ask questions, and we're not asking the questions.
So that is a victory, that you stood in that place and stood up for all of us.
What are we doing here?
For those who work, who can't be there all the time.
I mean, this
for
is
those who are very in
ridiculous.
tune with the community. So thank you.
You can't tell
Thank you.
everybody
You should
what they
thank
want to
yourself.
Just one question.
We're taking 90 days away, Lord, processing down, we're having the conversation. And this is just so that they can hear our concerns. The most important part is that we become united, that we form a cohesive tenant council, thank you, a cohesive tenant council to get all of our ducks in a row so that we can show a representation of who we are as a people. And for this community, black, white, or indifferent, we are all one people. So I'm just going to turn this over to Mother Gail.
She has a valid question. Would you like to stand, please?
Yes.
Yes, I do have a question. For those of us, for those of us that got a notice and left because we had to leave in 90 days and went and lived with relatives, it took me 4 days to move out of my apartment, 4 days, and had no help. And for us to have to move now and then being told you're not getting your security deposit back because you didn't give a 30-day notice? Well, I don't know where the 30-day notice came from because we got a month-to-month lease. So with all of that, you know, I still left. You know, but there's still stuff in my apartment that I can't get out. I don't have anywhere to put it. So I want to know, I want to answer for that because now I'm gone.
We'll not only have an answer for you, we'll work with you this week. So hopefully have the answer for you by Monday or Tuesday, but work with you this week so you get all the other stuff. Corey, can you get all the information, contact information? We'll give you our information, we'll get yours, and we'll work with you on that. And if there's anybody else that's in a similar situation, this is Corey Buckner, and just get him your information. Just raise your hand if you're in a similar situation. Okay, Corey, can you go, and Shanae too, both of you, Shanae Hearns. Just get their information, and we'll work with you on a case-by-case basis.
Listen. I had went to Misha 2 weeks ago, and I asked her, what if people move out before their 90-day notice? What if people move out? Are they going to get their deposit back? She told me yes, and I'll call her a liar to her face if she said she didn't say it, because she said it. She said everybody was going to get their deposit back because everyone has to move. Now that's what she said. Yes.
Everybody understand and realize that there's a landlord-tenant law.
Yes, there is.
That's in place to protect you.
Yes, there is.
If you cannot find help, call around and ask. Keep calling, keep asking. Use your resources. Use your family. They have to go through a process to evict you. That comes with magistrate. If you do not win there, you take it to arbitration.
We can tie them up.
But you keep calling. Do not give up. And just like they used those people downtown, you better use them too. For a long time, we knew this was coming. I'm only 45. You elders knew this was coming. You knew they was going to come back to the city and take it. That's why a lot of us start buying property. There's a lot of us that start buying property.
Okay.
Get together.
Okay. We don't have that much time, but understand this. There is process that we can tie up their money. We can tie up their money. But if they have to for eviction, for eviction, they would have to take us to magistrates. They have to spend $107 per unit. And then, excuse me. And you can also put your money in escrow, but you have to go before the judge and have a valid reason. I have done that before in other places. And also, I want to let you know that I need to know those who want to be on tenant council. If you have a form in your booklet, please fill it out. And on your way out, put it on one of those tables, because we do need to form a tenant council. We're trying to finish this up right now. We're trying to finish this up. So, I know. But what I need to know is not only for tenant council, but also if you want to join Action United, we need people who are going to be on the front line to fight. Not just to talk, not just to air their grievances, but to get solutions. We need solutions. I can sit here and run it about the mess that's over in that building, but that's not gonna get me anywhere. That's not gonna help me. We need solutions. We need to get minds together to sit and have solutions for everything that's going to be. Yes,
I know that the meeting's going, and I just have one question.
go ahead.
Did Gilbert sell this building?
No, the building has not been sold yet, but they're in the process because they have surveyors out there to find out where the water line is, the electrical line is, and the gas line is. So when they start drilling, they won't hit it. That's why you see those flags on the lawn, because I asked.
Okay, but it is up for sale.
First of all, Mr. Gumberg, no, listen. Mr. Gumberg does no longer have it. His sons have it. So it's up to his sons. And we don't see anybody here that's from management. We don't see Mr. King, who manages the property. We don't see Misha. We don't see anybody from the Gumberg. We don't see them. So what you're saying to us is we can all die and go to hell. But the bottom line is that we're going to stand as a unit. We're going to stand as one voice, and we're going to fight this to the finish. We got to tap all their money.
Again, let me ask you a question. I moved in 7 months ago. Why didn't you tell me? Not only that, you still written out.
Okay, there's another thing that they have done. People that have moved, they raised their rent beyond what they're supposed to pay. That's what they have done. And now they have 2 weeks ago. They moved somebody in 2 weeks ago. And with all this mess going on, why are they still moving people in? They need to. Okay. Tim Stevens, would you come forward, please?
All right. I just wanted to take a moment. I'm sorry, would you deal with it first?
Go ahead.
What about people whose leases aren't up? You want to do, people can't afford to pay rent plus moving expenses, or you want to add on late charges, or you then want to take us to magistrate. My lease is up in November. What happens to with me in them 90 days?
Let me tell you that.
Even now.
My lease don't end until. No, I'm
Please don't preach to me.
No, I'm preaching.
I need answers.
I'm just going to tell you what was told me. My lease is up next year. So I asked her about my lease. It's up in June of next year. She said that's when I'll get my notice.
Well, mine is up in November.
Then you should be getting your notice in October or September.
As an SEIU member, I've been out, and you know me, Bill, I've been out grinding on these payments. Mr. Ganny, Burgess, I'm sorry. We need help. I need help. You know, I don't have babies, but I need help. I like to live.
And just so you know, the goal right now, and I keep going back and forth, my chief of staff is on vacation with his family in Minnesota, and he's staying in touch, Kevin Ackland, and we're trying to get a hold of Gumberg to try and get some of these answers directly answered. But the goal is to get the 90-day off the table, and then to work with the community on a long-term plan. There is no reason that everybody has to be out at the same time. It just doesn't make sense. You can't develop the whole property that way, so.
Are already looking for places. Are they going to add on these late charges? If they're too late in their rent, then they want to go to take them to the magistrate. Is all that going to be off the board? I mean, me personally, I would like to move, but I can't afford it.
So there's going to be different people that have different, some aren't going to want to leave. So we're going to work with everybody. But the thing is the first thing we have to do for the people that got the letter, it's not everybody that got the letter, but the ones that did get the letter, we got to take that off because they're living under a gun right now.
Right.
And once we get that, then we'll work through the other issues too. It's not that we aren't going to work with it, but we have to set a priority right now on the 90-day letter, folks.
All right. I just wanted to let, I know that we all have lots and lots and lots of questions. However, we got to get out these people's church.
Yes, we do.
Now, so Mr. Stevens is going to wrap us up. But that's why it is important to be a part of the tenant council. Because guess what? They don't own this building.
No, they don't.
It's a private owner, and they are not here. They are not here. All the questions that we have are for them and they are not here. But guess what? We're going to hold them accountable to be our allies to get some of these questions answered. So I know that this is a very, very stressful situation. I'm not trying to minimize anybody's feelings. We got to get out these people's church. So we got to go. But please fill out your tenant council card. And we will be in contact. We will have a meeting in the next few days. So please fill out your card. Leave them in the back. And thanks for coming. Mr. Stevens is going to close this out.
Thank you very much. Can we be silent for a moment? We're all going to go home. Can we be silent for a moment as we leave together? I want you to remember what Reverend Burgess said. This is a historic moment for the entire city of Pittsburgh. As a guy who grew up in the Hill District, I've heard from childhood that folks wanted to take over the Hill. Many of you have heard folks want to take over East Liberty. Many of you have heard folks want to take over Homewood because it's all flat. But you and me and we together will determine what happens in our community. Now we cannot just have an emotional moment, because I've been in many meetings where folks are upset about death, violence, or anything else. And then in a month, there's 3 people meeting. I want to acknowledge Action United. Give them a hand. Dan Williams, Alicia coming in here breathing heavy. You who live in that building, you cannot let these people down. You cannot let yourself down. This cannot be a moment where folks come together and feel good. We need to acknowledge our political leaders who actually came forward on a hot Saturday morning and said what you wanted them to say. They said what you wanted them to say. You need to, BPAP, the Black Political Empowerment Project, believes in voting in each and every election. You hold your political leaders accountable. You hold them accountable by following up and putting that team together to meet with the leadership. Will you do that? Will you do that? Will you fill out the form today, not tomorrow? Who has the form? Hold it up. Who has the form? Hold it up. Who's thinking about filling it out? When you fill it out, do what's necessary. Do not let the process die because you had an emotional moment. Sometimes, let's be honest, sometimes we live in emotions. We have to use the emotion to have some structure to get the work done. Again, another hand to Action United, and ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank Randall Taylor for calling me about this, telling me I had to be here. Thank you so much.
One last thing. So the church was gracious enough to let us use this space. We are taking a collection for the church, so if you have a couple dollars, some change or something, just drop it in the basket on your way out the door. Now, Corey from the mayor's office, he wanted to address some of the concerns that people stood up and discussed.
So I'm just going to take people's phone number and I'm going to get your name. Then I'm going to work with Community Affairs next week to figure out individually what your problems are. And from there, we're going to work with the mayor's chief of staff to see if we can help you out further, and the tenant council. Me and Charnay, do you want to just go in the back? Okay, we'll meet you outside by the entrance.
Okay, is Minister Greg here to close us out in prayer?
Minister Burgess.
Reverend Burgess, you want to close us out in prayer?
But isn't it true that they can do what they want them to do? Tear it down?
Well, we're gonna take, we gotta get out of here.
Listen. I listen. My brother, listen. Listen. We're going to leave the sanctuary, but we're not necessarily leaving the presence of God. And I'm not leaving your presence. We're just going to take the meeting to the sidewalk, okay? Anybody who wants to talk, I'm not leaving until you leave, all right? My staff is here. I'm here to talk to you. I'm not going anywhere. But we're going to leave the sanctuary, all right? Everybody take somebody by the hand. Quiet in the place. I wonder if anybody here believes in the power of God. Everybody who believes in the power of God and miracles, and maybe I'm by myself. I believe our cause is right and just. And if we're doing the right thing, the just thing, and we call on God, I believe God will hear and answer our call. Shall we pray, Lord God, in the name of Jesus? We pray now, first of all, for these tenants. We pray that you would ease their mind and give them comfort. Lord, we pray, we believe in your word that all things work together for good for them that love the Lord. So God, even on this dark day and in this desperate time, we are believing that you can make things new and make things better. So God, we're going to claim better for them. We're going to claim better housing. We're going to claim better resources. We're going to claim better life. Yes. Now, God, we pray even in this house that you would meet every need and bless every heart. There are people who come to stand united from near and far. Tim and other folks who have come. We pray that you would bless them too. Now, those of us who are elected and appointed officials, help us to form a team. Lord, in the name of Jesus, we need a special blessing upon our county executive and a special blessing upon our mayor as they lead this region. And then help Ed and I as we, behind them, go forward to represent our people, to fight the good fight. Now, God, there are needs in this room that are not, no, there's more than housing needs. There's needs in this room. Somebody's sick and needs your touch. Somebody can't pay their bills, needs your touch. Somebody's hungry. Somebody has a problem they cannot solve, but you're a God who can meet every need and bless every heart all at the same time.
Yes, Lord.
Now, God, we're going to pray for the good brothers. We're going to pray, God, that you would just touch their heart.
Touch them, Lord.
And help them to have compassion because they're good people. And we're just going to pray that they're going to have compassion and work with us so we can all work together for the betterment of this community and our city.
Yes.
Now, God, be with us as we leave. Lord, even now, we pray for this sanctuary that on tomorrow, when the church comes, that the Lord himself will show up in this place. Now, God, bless us and keep us as we leave this place. And now may the grace of our Lord and Savior, Jesus the Christ, the love of God the Father, sweet communion of the Holy Spirit, rest, rule, and abide with you now, henceforth, and forevermore. Anybody who believes in God, say, amen. Come on, hug 2 or 3 people and say, we're going to do this thing together. Hug 2 or 3 people and say, we're going to do this thing together. We're going to do this thing together.
Okay, so I'm gonna just try to get my name. No, I wasn't a Section 8.
To my side.
We gotta win. I love you for that. Thank you. But we gotta win. I read all that you guys are sending. Because I'm on this. Yeah, we're gonna try to keep it going. I'm glad those guys will come up to the front. Yeah, stay the hell back there, man. Thank you. That's why I have to make sure I get cover shots and folks. We're good. Okay, we are good. Though. What's that sound gonna be like? It's gonna be good. Yeah. Because they had a speaker. I'm impressed. One more time. Thank you.
No, but I mean, I know how things get.
You're probably gonna send you a letter from Dan. Not gonna do it, and you gotta go. I'm fighting this. I want to stay. I'm here to fight this.
You're welcome.